Hi everyone, I'm Apollonia Ponte. I am your dating and relationship coach, founder of ApolloniaPonte.com, and I'm so happy you're here. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to save a failing marriage. If you are an individual that is facing a marriage that is failing or almost at divorce, I encourage you to watch this video. This video is tailored for you men that are going through this, and I hope you can find some encouragement, some motivation, some positive reinforcement from this video. I'm going to give you some tips on how to save a marriage, a failing marriage, but this is such a tailored situation that I really encourage you not only to listen to this video, but to also look into booking a private coaching session with me. A lot of times marriages can be challenging, and at the same time, we take that for granted at times. So you could be where your partner took you for granted, where you took each other for granted, or where you took your partner for granted. So some of the tips that I'm going to be real with you on here is going to be from my experience of coaching married people, married individuals, and clients as well in relationships. And the number one thing here is sometimes depending, you have to be very careful here. And I want you to use this as a self-coaching video, is to kind of balance and take a break, right? I know there might be children involved and things like that, but really getting out of the fire, right? So let's just say that you're constantly arguing. You're constantly arguing and you can't catch a break. Maybe start taking up some tennis lessons at night and reincorporating some things into your life so you can take that space and get some clarity after work. So let's just say, for example, you come home at 5 o'clock, your wife comes home at 5 o'clock, and then you're just bicker, and the kids are coming home or whatever. That time is about to kind of compromise and do an agreement with your wife, meaning, what would you like to do? How about Tuesdays and Thursdays, I go play tennis, and then Mondays and Wednesdays, you do whatever you want to do. Why don't you do a salsa dance class? Why don't you do this? Give her ideas. The number one thing here for this tip is because you're influencing each other to kind of figure out who you are again, influencing each other to see how much being at home can impact the both of you, and can also, you're doing things that are going to help you transition as a person and probably be better to communicate effectively, be a better communicator. Which leads me into tip number 2 is, in relationships, just in general, marriages, whatever, we come to attack. We attack with the I. But it's important that your partner does the same thing, and the what, the why, and the how. Curiosity questions is the way that you communicate, not I need you to do this. No, it's what do you need me to do for me in order for you to feel safe, or for me to be a better person. So what I need you to do is this because of this. Try to be as descriptive as possible, because a lot of times when we have arguments in our relationships is because it's a loss of communication, but you both end up fighting for the same thing because you love each other, and you're going around and around and around, and you end up loving each other. Tip number 3 is to also hire a marriage counselor. I believe in this so much when you get to a point in your life where your wife, I've seen this plenty of times, your wife doesn't want to hear you out. Your wife is maybe disrespecting you, or is not even open to communicating with you, so you feel stuck. This is probably a time where you seek marriage counseling, and you seek counseling within a coach or marriage counseling, whatever you choose to do. But the thing here is, there's times where clients will come to me and say, I've tried everything with my wife. She doesn't want marriage counseling. She doesn't want this. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want to communicate with me. And here's what I say, is when this happens, you have to end up drawing boundaries, and you have to stand up for you. And unfortunately, we don't have power, even if we're married, of the other person in that marriage, right? That's why we're our own individuals. And the worst thing that you can do is build expectations just because you're trying to effectively communicate that your wife is not. Hopefully over time that she will. But there's a lot of times where I've seen people in marriages not set boundaries because they're scared. They're scared to lose that prize. They're scared to lose their wife because she's amazing. She's this, she's that. Okay. But here's the thing, is if you don't set boundaries in a marriage, or never have before, or going through this place and you're not setting boundaries and it's been taken advantage of, and you feel as though you can't trust her because of this reason, then it's time to implement boundaries today. If you don't implement boundaries, then it's going to continue to go around, and this might be the hardest part. And lastly, I want to leave it with this. is I wrote a blog about how to write a letter to your wife. So if you're a man that basically is doing opposite and not a really good communicator, I really encourage you to write a letter to your wife to explain and to communicate your feelings, your emotions that you're going through in order for her to have a better understanding for you. I encourage you to go to that blog. I'll link it up here and I'll put it in the description box below because I walk you through how to write a letter. And once you read that blog, I encourage your comments because I want to see that you were there and that you read that letter. And if you have any questions, comment on that blog and I will get back to you personally. And it doesn't stop there. I have something called the 35 Rules to Save the Relationship. That is an amazing, amazing ebook that I have dedicated with another coach and myself to you guys to improve your relationships. And I highly encourage you to download that on my product page, and I'll put that below in the description link as well. As always, I'll see you again in the next video. And remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.